I welcome you to this workshop, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now, before we begin with your session, sir, a brief introduction of your biodata to other participants, sir. Now,
Sure,
Dr. Hashmukh Chauhan, sir, he holds a position of Associate Professor at BVM College in Civil Department, Gujarat. Then, sir has completed BE Civil in LD College of Engineering, Gujarat University, and MTech with a specialization in geomatics engineering from IIT Roorkee in year 2005. Then PhD in Natural Resource Engineering from IIT Bombay in 2017. Now, sir started his career as a QA/QC engineer, and then as a lecturer, and then promoted to assistant professor, and currently as associate professor at BVM College, Gujarat. Now, sir research projects mainly includes smart crime management for smart city, wherein the sanction amount was more than 17 lakh. Now, sir is also involved in many consultancy projects handled. Now, his research and consultancy areas are surveying and mapping using total stations and drone, land cover mapping using satellite remote sensing data, geographical information system application, surveying, mapping, and tracking using global positioning system. Now, sir is also a lifetime member for many professional bodies. To name few, lifetime member for IST, then associate member of IE, then life member of Indian Society of Geomatics, then life member of Resource Engineering Association, IIT Bombay. Sir is also a reviewer for Journal of Applied Remote Sensing, Web of Science, SCI indexed. Then reviewer for IEEE Journal of Selected Topics in Applied Earth Observations and Remote Sensing, and Journal of Indian Society of Remote Sensing, Scopus Index. Now, sir has more than 25 national, international, as well as the seminar conference publications. So with this brief introduction, I welcome Dr. Chauhan, sir, once again to this FDP and request you to take over the session, sir.
Thank you very much, Saran sir. Very nice introduction you have given of me. I am thankful for BLD for inviting me and sharing my actually experiences. I have gradually started with the chain surveying, compass surveying, and total station surveying. In between, also the theodolite traversing. And I invite all of you, whenever you are in Gujarat, we have a good lab in which we have the total stations, we have GPS instruments, we have digital labels, we have digital theodolites, and additionally remote sensing softwares. And recently we have added a drone in our category. So wherever you are in Gujarat, somewhere nearby passing, then visit our lab, inform me, we will help you out to understand something better. Thank you very much, sir, and I'm thankful for BLD. I will start my sessions.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. The content is visible, sir, I think?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. Shall I start?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay, good morning to all participants and happy to all of you share my content. I will make my video off actually. Sorry for one interruption, sir. I will make video off, I think. Is okay?
It would be better, sir. It will not consume much data also.
Okay. 1 minute. When we zoom out,
for that, probably you might stop presenting, then maybe you can put off the video.
Yeah. That's only the reason. Stop sharing when we do, then it will allow me to stop my video.
Yes.
It's okay.
Then I can start sharing.
Yeah, we are mostly working on the Microsoft Teams.
Okay. Sir, it is presented now.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So many people have talked on somewhat portion of the drone, and I will introduce actually the drone. The topic was given to me, introduction to the drone. What is a drone actually? Because many times we are speaking a word or we are getting a word. When I also entered in this area, I also have some idea. But a drone is an aircraft that can operate autonomously or can be operated remotely without a pilot on board. I will bring attention of all participants here one difference, that is, one is automatic and second is autonomously. Automatic means a task is given in a period of automatic time, it will be completed. So that is autonomy, automatic. Now autonomous means it is some program therein, software is there who is doing the task. If there is changes are required, it will also do that changes. That is autonomous. Means if the drone is autonomous, if there any obstruction is there, it will avoid the obstruction, that vehicle obstacle evidence. So that type of, if the battery is low, it will return to the home. So that type of the functions are having with the autonomous modes. A drone is basically an unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, an aircraft without a human pilot on board. Mostly presently we are filling that. Also known as RPAS, somewhere you are finding this word RPAS, remotely piloted aircraft system or remotely piloted aircraft vehicle, RPAS. Yeah. Okay, slide changing is not happening. Okay, now it's happening. So some abbreviations are needed before proceeding my session. So RPA, remotely piloted aircraft, UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle, both are similarly used in many times. RPAS, remotely piloted aircraft system, and UAS, unmanned aircraft system. There is also one component in this that is known as a ground control station, where we have control over in our hand how to control our RPA. AGL, above ground level, and AMSL, above mean sea level. Here two terms are differently stated, as you are flying your drone above ground level. So you are deciding above ground level, I have to fly at a 60 meter or 70 meter depending upon the nearest object's height, because you have to fly over of that to avoid any accidents. Above mean sea level, we have to relate with the, when we are collecting the GPS data sets or like that, we have to relate with that. BFV, blue fire video, we are also getting blue fire video from your drone to your COM box. COM box is a communication box. GPS, we are all familiar with that. LOS, line of sight, means up to how much you are able to see your drone. Okay. RPV, remotely piloted vehicle. PPK, there is two type of the drones in market presently available. One is a PPK, post-processing kinematics, where you have to establish the GCP over the ground, and your drone also have the GPS. Based on that, you can post-process the data sets and you have some sufficient accuracy. Also, there is another mode is RTK, real-time kinematics, where you are getting some higher accuracy, but you have to pay the price for that. GCP, ground control point. GSD, ground sampling distance, based on the camera configuration, at what height you are flying, you are getting a space resolved in a 1 pixel. So that is a ground sampling distance, what we can say. IMU, inertial measurement unit. There is any flying objects flying in a sky, it is moving in a XYZ direction, or we can say roll, pitch, and yaw. So IMU will give you that information from one position to another position where it is moving exactly. There is one body in India which is controlling these all operations and drawn in the India. So Director General of Civil Aviation, DGCA. OEM, original equipment manufacturer. NAV, navigation. EP, autopilot. Nowadays all the drones are available with the autopilot mode. So wherever you are taking, it's going that. VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing. ATC, air traffic control. CAR, civil aviation requirement. RFID is known to us. SOP is known to us due to the COVID. Okay, rest of the things are, I think, very well known to us. NPNT. This NPNT is very much important. No permission, no takeoff. In some category of the drone, there is category is NPNT. So if you NPNT, without a permission, you cannot take off. So classification of the drone based on the weight. Based on the maximum weight, including payload, the drones can be classified into 5 categories. First is a nano drone. less than or equal to 250 gram. The nano drone mostly are like a toys where people are playing with that, and it is small children are flying also. Micro drone greater than 250 gram and less than or equal to 2 kilogram. Okay, so micro drones are very suitable for surveying and mapping purpose as far as my experience is concerned, because we are doing mostly the limited extent surveying. We are not doing very extensive surveying where hundreds of the kilometers or the acres of the lands are there. So we are happy with the micro drone. One important instruction that I want to train you all of you over here. Up to micro drone, you don't require a pilot license. So you can fly to any area, nano drone or micro drone, to any area without a pilot license. You don't require any pilot license. You have to just inform your local police authority to fly over the area. It is for just a safety that if you are flying an object, flying object, somebody will go to the police station and complain, then it will be the after procedure you have to face a problem. So if we instruct before that, it is always helpful to us. Then next category is comes to the small drone that greater than 2 kilogram and less than or equal to 25 kilogram. So mostly the agricultural drones are falling in this category, and because they are required some pesticide to sprayed or like that. So small drones they are using mostly. Medium drone greater than 25 kilogram and less than or equal to 150 kilogram. And large drone greater than 150 kilogram. These are the required from some supply chain management or some good supply or like that. But more than if your drone is higher than this micro drone, you require a pilot license to acquire from any agency, then you can fly to any area. Classification of drone based on the aerial platform. So based on the type of the aerial platform used, there are two major types of the drones. One is a fixed wing drone. Mostly we are saying it is aircraft or aeroplane. And second is a rotorcraft. So that is a single rotor or the multi-rotor. We will discuss one by one. So fixed wing drones like an aeroplane. Fixed wing is a term mainly used in the aviation industry to define aircraft that use fixed static wings in combination with forward aspect to generate the lift. So mostly the aircraft is generating a forward aspect, okay, for lifting it and also to stay in a stationary over in the air. Example of this type of the aircraft are traditional airplanes, kites that are attached to the surface, and different sorts of the gliders like hand gliders or the paragliders. So these are the fixed wing. Even a simple paper airplane can be defined as a fixed wing aircraft. Sorry. 1 minute please. Fixed wing type models never utilize energy to stay afloat on air. So fixed wing types can't stand still on the air. It has to continuously move. It cannot still remain stationary over a one point. Okay. Instead, they move forward on their sat course or as a sat by the guide control, possibly a remote unit operated by the human, as long as their energy source permits. So these are the some fixed wing drone which is rightly used nowadays. Most fixed wing drones have an average flying time of a couple of hours. Gas engine powered drones can fly up to 16 hours or higher. Due to the higher flying time and fuel efficiency, fixed wing drones are ideal for long distance operation, be it mapping or surveillance. If you want to map for a very vast area, then it is always preferred for a fixed wing drone, not the rotor drones. Because I have also come across that complete Bombay survey is done by the LIDAR. That is fixed wing LIDAR, and they have done a good way the surveying. But they cannot be used for aerial photography where the drone needs to be kept still on the air for a period of time. If you want to take aerial photography, then these drones are not suitable, as in aerial photography, somewhat stationary is required of drone for over a point. Skill training required in flying a runway or catapult launcher is needed to set a fixed wing drone or its course in the air. Also, runway or parachute or net is again necessary to land them back in the ground safely, because fixed wing drone have a major failure. If you are not safely landing, it may possible that in the next flight it may not work. It may damage all its sensors. Second category of the drone is a rotorcraft. The term rotorcraft is used in aviation to define aircraft that use rotary wings to generate the lift. So popular example of the rotorcraft is a traditional helicopter, single rotor. The helicopter has a single rotor, continuously it is moving. Single rotor drones look very similar in design and structure to actual helicopters. A single rotor model has just one big size rotor plus a small size one on the tail of the drone to control its heading. They are higher flying times and can even be powered by gas engine. In aerodynamics, the lower the count of the rotors, the lesser will be the speed of the object. So it just with a single rotor, it cannot spin in all the axes. So we are preferring the multi-rotor that can spin in all the axes. However, these machines comes with a much higher complexity and operational risks. We have recently faced it. We have lost our CDS. Their costs also are on the higher side. The large side rotor blades often pose a risk. When you fix a large side rotor blades, it causes many accidents. Okay. Now, ultimate aim, multi-rotor drones. We are mostly nowadays using multi-rotor drones for various surveying and mapping applications and other applications. Multi-rotor drones. Multi-rotor drones are the most common type of the drones which are used by the professionals. They are used for most common applications like aerial photography, aerial video surveillance, etc. Multi-rotor drones can be further classified based on the number of rotors on the platform. One is a tricopter, when 3 rotors, quadcopter, 4 rotors, hexacopter, 6 rotors, octocopter, 8 rotors. Out of this, quadcopter, hexacopter, and octocopters are more commonly we are using it. So this is the one of the model of the quadcopter. There is a 4 sides and 4 BLDC motors are attached that rotate, and we are getting a lift from place, and also we are getting a glide it. So octocopter, there is a 8 wings, and similarly all the wings have the one motor and one vent. If anytime if anybody want to ask, they can stop me, no problem. Multi-rotor drones have limited flying time, limited endurance and speed. Endurance means how much time it will remain in the air. Okay, so it is a limited. They are not suitable for large scale projects like long distance aerial mapping or surveillance. The fundamental problem with the multi-rotors is they have to spend a huge portion of their energy, possibly from a battery source, just to fight gravity and stabilize themselves in the air. So that is the reason why we are not getting higher endurance in case of the multi-rotor, because it has to fight against the gravity, and to keep it stationary or in the air, it is a major source of the battery is used in that. My voice is not audible? Is okay?
Sir, it is audible.
Okay, I'm getting some message. So
Oh, no, they might check from their side, but it is audible to us. We can continue.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. At present, most of the multi-rotor drones out there are capable of only 20 to 30 minutes flying time. People are working very hard to increase this endurance, and mostly people are using the LiPo batteries. LiPo battery also comes with a weight. If they try to increase that endurance, then weight of the LiPo battery also increase. So they are fighting a lot how to increase this endurance. So some advancement in the battery side that happen, then we have in the future we have good endurance. The major important thing of the multi-rotor drones is the propellers. So I have taken example of the quadcopter. They have the 4 propellers. In these 4 propellers, 2 are working as a pushers. So they move clockwise. Mark here, there is a mistake. Okay, they move clockwise. So if these 2 are moving clockwise, then 2 are working as a pullers. that we work as a counterclockwise. These two are working as a counterclockwise. It is very essential that two works is a clockwise and two works as an anti-clockwise to make your vehicle, your drone stationary over a period, over a point in the air. Otherwise, it's not possible. Okay, because air is flowing from every directions. Okay. So if we take the model of the octocopter, quadcopter, hexacopter or octocopter, the mechanism is like that. There is a two mechanism, both plus and X configuration. This is a plus configuration where it is a heading of the drone. This symbol is my icon, cursor is visible to all of you. I'm putting a cursor.
Visible, sir.
Yeah. So this is a heading of the drone. In this heading of the drone, if the motors are fixed in this wing, then it is a plus configuration. Okay, so if this is moving clockwise, this is also move clockwise, and this to opposite at 90 degree, they move anti-clockwise. Same way for the hexacopter, okay, and the octocopter. Okay, if this is a mechanism, there is a X configuration or cross configuration, people are saying. So this is a heading of the drone. We have to always remember this heading because it is toward the north. You have to orient. Whenever you want to orient your drone, you have to orient this heading toward the north because it will show the north according to this heading. Okay. So second speaker will talk more on that part. So this is the clockwise two, and these are two are the anti-clockwise. Similarly for the hexa and for the octocopter. Okay. So some comparison on the drone. We may require to use any type of the drone, and we have to understand what is that. So airplane is a longitudinal thrust. It is moving in a one linear direction. Is a fixed wing. What are the pros of the airplane? High endurance. We are getting very much time. We can even fly from Delhi to Ahmedabad or like that. So that is airplane capability. Simple flight control, low to moderate complexity, and high failure tolerance. Glide. Constraints, low maneuverability. You required a very large runway, or also for landing it also you required a very large space. You cannot easily maneuver it. Large operating area required, yes. Missions, high altitude FPV. FPV stands for the first person view. Persistent surveillance, data acquisition. So you want to surveillance for a very vast area, then airplane is always suitable. Large area surveying, yes. Cargo ad job, or you can also work in a harsh weather with the airplane. So we have experience when we are moving in the flight and in a monsoon season, we are getting too much noise outside, but we safely land in a one place because that is in harsh weather, airplane can work well. Second category is helicopter. Vertical thrust, rotor wing, so vertically take off and vertically land. It has a high maneuverability. You can change it the direction also. It is a VTOL capability, vertical takeoff and landing. Hover capability, you can hover a particular area for one particular time and you can visualize the things or you can capture the data sets. Mechanically complex, electronically complex. Use of a traditional helicopter as a small unmanned aircraft is not recommended. So we are not getting helicopter for our UAV, but we are getting multi-copter as our most of the UAV. Because it is high maneuverability, VTOL and hover capability, mechanically simple, non-directional. Means it not required any only one particular direction to go. It can move any direction. So it is non-directional, relatively low cost, compact and packable. That is a very good advantage of the multi-copter because I have the backpack, large backpack, but I can put my drone over here, all assembly, and I can move with the bag. So anywhere I want to survey, I can go with that. I can go even Delhi to by airplane, and then I can survey with my multi-copter. So that is advantage. Electronically complex, but low endurance. That is we have to fight for that. Low altitude, close proximity FPV. So we are getting very close view. Small area surveying, it is suitable. Swarm or team operations can possible, and cargo, touchdown cargo can possible. So Amazon, etc. are using multi-copter or like that because touchdown cargo delivery can be possible with the multi-copter only. While in other case, touchdown cargo delivery is not possible. Okay, sorry. What are the sensors we can onboard on our drone? So optical cameras, still camera. It is used for photogrammetry and mapping, or building 3D models or stereo pads. Using that stereo photography, we can generate this camera configuration and camera details are vary from drone to drone. People are using HD camera and like that. It is vary from one drone to another drone. But the important is the shutter speeds. So that defines their good quality of the images. So it is varying from that. Optical again camera, video camera. It is used for surveillance. You are getting the full HD or the 720p camera also, and you can continuously cover the video. Work inspection of the engineering projects, monitoring of the canals, highway construction work as report as per the NHAI. NHAI has made mandatory that every day how much road construction is happening. You are flying over area using a drone, and that video is submitted at the day of the end. Then and then the bill will be passed or it is approved. So nowadays many people are suggesting that things that you fly over the area using a drone and submit. Also, there is a good opportunity in a still camera to do the Swamitwa project because we have to map each and every parcel of the land in the Swamitwa project. Multispectral camera, vegetation monitoring or crop health management we can do. The bands are available. There is a two major sensors in the multispectral rightly available. One is a Mica Sense, which is a leading manufacturer in the multispectral, and second is the parrot sequencing. Okay, so Mica Sense is coming with this blue, green, red, reddish band and near infrared. Okay, so this images of the multispectral are similar to your multispectral remote sensing images and even good than that. So people who are involved in the agriculture business or doing some agriculture health monitoring or crop monitoring, the Mica Sense is a wonderful sensor. If your budget is low, then you can also get the Parrot. Parrot is also giving a promising data sets and the budget is near about 5 lakh. The sensor is comes about near about 5 lakh. So you do good bargaining, and one good supplier is there from Dali side, that is a Kambil, that you supply the Parrot at a good reasonable price. Otherwise, that is a high price people are getting it. So band, green, red, reddish, and near infrared. So more or you to only compromise the blue, and blue is not used for any vegetation monitoring because blue light scatters maximum. So we are not using blue light. So even if you work with the Parrot, you are getting good data sets. So try it. If any assistance needed, I have one order with the Campbell. So if any help is needed or any communication is needed, you can call me. I will do that with them people. Okay. Other sensors, thermal camera. Thermal camera is used for the night surveillance or solar farm inspection like that. It is a emissivity from the object is measured by a thermal camera, and it give you where the hot target is there and where is the cold target is there. Other R&D is going and people are also acquiring hyperspectral data sets. The cost is very high for a hyperspectral, near about 35 lakh or that there. So hyperspectral have many more bands and a continuous bands. So if you want to do vegetation monitoring, minerals mapping, then hyperspectral is a wonderful source. The sensors. Also, people are talking about the LiDAR sensors. You want to do a 3D modeling where the LiDAR is a point clouds. They cover the point cloud of the over the area, and they are getting the point from the tree top, from tree bottom, and everything. When you abstract that, you are getting a 3D surface model, 3D DTM, digital terrain model, everything from the LiDAR. But LiDAR is presently also very costly affair. Even I acquired, but it goes to our near about more than 40 lakh or near about that. So sometimes it not fit in our budget because we have limited budget from the different sources. Some terminology is required to clear. One is altitude is known to all of us, but attitude. So object orientation object in air, combination of pitch, roll, and yaw. That is important. Bearing, angle and degree of object from the observer measured from the north. So I have shown this heading north. Okay, so wherever your heading of your drone is there, it is toward the north, you have to orient. So accordingly, you can see what is the bearing of my drone. Coordinates, general latitude, longitude of a place in degree of northeast. Box, it is communication box. Encryption, the encoding of a cipher so that it is safe from the hacking, because if the communication protocols are people are getting, then your drone may be hacked and it can be dragged to any bring to any place. Endurance, maximum time airborne. We have flight plan. Selected path, track of the flight from one point to another, and combination of the point from beginning on destination. Many drones are giving you a many option how you can generate a flight plot, and you can generate from Google Earth using a KML file, and it will fly over the area. There is one. Flight modes. Method of flight. Navigation. Navigation means it is mostly the automatic. You give a flight path and it will fly over the area without any intervention, and it will come back also. RPV, remotely piloted vehicle, means you are have a command in you and you are monitoring, you are dragging it somewhere in place, or you are bringing that. Hold, you can hold the aircraft over one particular area and continuously it will monitor particular area. Take off and land. When you say take off, it will go in the air. When you say land,